morning and Saram students. Hope you all are doing well. So let us start with our today's class. In this class we are going to start with a new chapter of New Voices. That is chapter number 8, Pandavas in Exile. So let us start reading that. Students, open your book New Voices and page number 78. So page number 78, open that page number and let us begin with the reading. In Hastinapur, there lived two brothers, Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Though Pandu was younger, he was enthroned as the king because Dhritarashtra was blind. So, in the first line, we come to know there was a big kingdom known Hastinapur, and in that kingdom lived two brothers named Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Pandu was the younger brother, and Dhritarashtra was the elder brother. But Dhritarashtra was blind, and that's why Pandu was given the throne, and he was made the king of the kingdom Hastinapur. Pandu had 5 sons named Yudhishthir, Bhima, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev. From his two wives Kunti and Madri. They were called the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra has had 100 sons from Gandhari, with Duryodhan being the eldest. They were called the Kauravas. So here we come to know that Pandavas is married and he has two wives. Pandu has two wives named Kunti and Madri, and through these two wives he has 5 sons named Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev. And on the other side, the elder brother Dhritarashtra has one wife named Gandhari, from which he is having 100 sons, and the eldest of all was Duryodhan. When Pandu died, Dhritarashtra became the king of Hastinapur. There emerged an intense rivalry between the two sets of cousins because Yudhishthir was the rightful heir to the throne of Hastinapur. Now, when Pandu died, what happened when Pandu died and now Dhritarashtra was made the king of that kingdom named Hastinapur? The cousins, two sides, Pandavas and Kauravas. Kauravas are 100 brothers and Pandavas are 5 brothers. So they were fighting. Why? Because Yudhishthir was an actual person to be made the king of the kingdom, not Dhritarashtra. So they were fighting for this. Now, page number 79. After trying various ways to get rid of his cousin from poison to fire, finally Duryodhan's maternal uncle Shakuni devises a plot to trap Pandavas and take away their kingdom through deceit. So here Duryodhan has tried hundreds of ways to kill his cousin brother Pandavas because he wants the throne. He wants to be the king and he don't want any competitor in front of him. That's why he tried to kill them through poison and by keeping their kingdom on fire. But nothing happened. But one day, the maternal uncle means mama, the uncle from your mother's side known as Mamaji. His Mamaji, known Shakuni, made a plot, made a plan, and through that plan, they actually deceive. They ditch the Pandavas and they take away their kingdom from them. Shakuni, a master player in Chaucer, a game of dice, insists Duryodhan to invite Yudhishthir for a game, expressing his desire to make amends. So here Shakuni is a very good player of Chaucer, is a game of dice, and he tell Duryodhan that now you should invite Yudhishthir because we are going to trap him through this plan only. So he have a desire that through this plan he will win and he will ask for something from Duryodhan on behalf of Yudhishthir. Now Yudhishthir is the eldest of all in Pandava's brother. Yudhishthir happily agrees. Now Yudhishthir agrees that yes, we will come to the game of chess at your kingdom. But he is defeated and ends up losing not only his entire kingdom but also his brother along with his own self and their queen Draupadi. So now what happened? He was playing the game of Chaucer, Yudhishthir and Shakuni was playing the game of Chaucer, and what happened? In that game, Yudhishthir has loosened up everything. He has given up his kingdom, he has given up himself and his brothers plus his wife also. So now everyone at we can consider that everyone became the slave of Duryodhan and his maternal uncle Shakuni. When Draupadi is about to curse the entire Kaurava clan, she is stopped by King Dhritarashtra. He asks for forgiveness and return all asset back to Yudhishthir. So what happened when they were misbehaving with Draupadi? Draupadi was giving a curse. In Hindi, we know curse as um, shrap. So she was giving that to the entire 100 brothers and the entire kingdom of Kauravas. At that moment, the father of the 100 sons, named as Dhritarashtra, say, "Please forgive us and don't do this to us. In return, I will give all your kingdom and all your thing back to you. But don't give curse or don't curse our kingdom like this." Kauravas insist on playing a fair game, to which Yudhishthir agrees and almost win. Before losing the game, yet again Yudhishthir accepts the condition that the defeated party should go with the brothers and wife into exile to the forest and remain there for 12 years and spend the 13th year incognito. So what happened now? They again agree that we will play a fair game now. Everybody agrees with this. Yeah, now we will play a fair game of Chaucer, and this time he was also winning the game. Who? Yudhishthir was also winning the game, and when at last they all were going to lose, who? The Pandavas. A condition was kept in front of them, was that the party who will lose this game, they have to go with their family to the forest in exile. In exile means that they will not be having anything with them, they have to live alone in the forest, and for 12 years, and that was the condition. Though the party who will lose the game, they have to go to the forest. Now, as we know, Pandavas lose the game and they have to go to the forest. For 12 years, the five brothers and Draupadi suffer but have many adventures. So, though they were suffering in 12 years in the forest, but still they actually went through many adventures also. They come to know about many more things in the atmosphere in their kingdom. At last, the 13th year approaches and they have one last adventure in the forest. Now, the 13th year, in which they will come back to their kingdom, that was approaching. They have completed 12 years. Now, the 13th year was coming near to them, and there were more adventures in the forest. Now, let us come to the page number 80 and let's start reading that. Another time it happened that the Pandavas' brother, going in pursuit of a deer in the forest, wandered far from their dwelling place. The sun was hot overhead and they grew thirsty. The deer had vanished, and now footsore and weary, they came at last to stop, knowing that their search was in vain. So what happened? They were living in the forest, and the Pandavas' brother were going in the search of a deer, and they wandered here and there. They were searching for the deer everywhere, and they were very far from the place where they have their own house or where they were staying. The sun was very overhead and it was very hot outside, and they grew thirsty. So the deer now got vanished. They can't see deer anywhere in the forest, and now their foot were swelled up and they were very tired. Weary means extremely tired. They were tired and they came to stop at last. Now they stopped their searching for deer and they sat under a tree, because they know that the search which they were doing was in vain, because they vain means it was not useful for them, because it was going it was having no use because deer was not there. Their mouths were parched. Parched means very dry. When we are roaming in the or when we are wandering in the very hot sun, under hot sun, we get thirsty a lot and our mouth get parched, means it become very dry. They scanned the earth in all direction for some sign of water. So they were looking here and there for the water, but seeing none. So they were not able to see anything around them. They they trudged wearily onwards until at last Yudhishthir, unable to go any further due to fatigue, sank down under a tree to rest and sent Sahadev in search of water for them. So what happened now? They were so much tired that Yudhishthir decided that I am going to rest here. Even all the brothers were resting under a tree because they were tired and they were thirsty also. So now the uh, sorry, Yudhishthir sent the youngest of all. Youngest means the one who is smaller one. Name Sahadev. Sahadev. So Yudhishthir sent Sahadev that you go now and bring water for me. The youth here stands for Sahadev. The youth went readily enough, but when he did not return for a long time, Yudhishthir grew concerned. So now what happened? Sahadev went very fast in search of water to bring water for his brother. But what happened? He didn't return for a long time. And now Yudhishthir grew very concerned that what might happen to my brother. He is alone. So now he sent Nakul to go and search for water also and see where Sahadev is. Nakul obeyed, but he too, like Sahadev, did not return. But what happened again? Like Sahadev did not return, say in the same way, Nakul didn't return. Now Yudhishthir sent his brother one by one after each other. First he sent Sahadev, then Nakul, then Arjun, then Bhim, and nobody returned. And he was thinking that I don't know what has happened to my brother. Something evil might had happened to my brothers. So he got very anxious to know what is going on. At last, he decided that I will go and see for himself. He got up and following their footstep went down the track. So he was following his brother's footstep that where they were. Now, he walked down for a distance until he came to a pool in a clearing in the forest. So he was following the footstep of his brother, and when he followed that footstep, he come through a pool, which is from a distance from the place where they were resting, and its clear, still water reflected the blue sky, while the pink and white and blue lotus that grew in it raised their smiling heads to the sun. So now what happened? You can see the pool has a very clear water and a beautiful color lotuses are there in that water, which are actually blooming in a very beautiful way. But at his eyes looked upon the lovely scene, Yudhishthir saw another side that made his blood freeze in his veins. So what happened? One side he was able to see clear and clean water, which is very available to drink. But on the other side, when he looked on the other side, he saw such a thing that his blood freezes in his nerves. For upon the earth lay his four brothers. That his four brothers were lying on the earth, unconscious. They were not unconscious, they were unconscious, cold and still, either dead. He was not sure either my brothers are dead or unconscious. Their eyes were closed, and when he called to them, they would not answer. Sorrow filled the king's heart, and he fell on his knee by them and wept bitterly for them, wringing his hand in his grief and crying out to heaven to take him too, for he could not live without his brother. So what happened? He thought that my brothers has died now, and he was crying loudly and he was asking God to take me up also because I'm not able to live without my brother. So he thought that his brother has died because they were not answering when he was calling his name. So he sit on his knees and he started crying and banging his head on their bodies. Now, though Yudhishthir did not know it was what had happened, so now Yudhishthir was not aware about what has happened with his brothers. So one by one, his brothers had come to the forest food. So now the story is in past. We are being informed what has happened in past when Yudhishthir was resting under the tree. So let us look what happened to these four brothers. So what happened? One by one, we know that they were coming to the pool to search their brothers. The first to come was Sahadev. He was full of joy at seeing water, for he was very thirsty. So he was very thirsty. Sahadev was very thirsty. So he was very happy to see that water is there, even the very clear and clean water. He knelt upon the bank and bent down to drink the water of the pool, when a voice broke through the silence of the grove. Stop, Sahadev, said the voice. Do not drink, for this is an enchanted pool. Startled, Sahadev looked about him, but he could not see no one. He turned to the water. It looked cool and inviting. He was very thirsty. As he paused, undecided, the voice rang out again. I am Yaksha, it said, and this enchanted pool belongs to me. No one may drink of its water until he has answered my question. Sahadev rose up and waited. So now what happened? Sahadev went to the pool because he was the first one who come to the pool in search of water, and he got so excited to see the water that he just sit there and had the water. But when he was going to have the water, a voice came from there, and the voice saying, stop Sahadev, don't drink this water because this water is enchanted. Enchanted means magical, so please don't drink this water because this is under a spell. A magical spell is there upon this. And when Sahadev look here and there, he find nobody is there. So he again started drinking the water, and the time he started drinking the water, again a voice came, and that voice said, my name is Yaksha and this pool belongs to me, and without my permission you can't drink the water from this pool. So first you have to answer me, and then only you are able to drink the water of this pool. So for this video, for this class, this much only, and we will continue with a further story of Pandavas in exile in the next video. So for today, that's all. Thank you, students. Take care.